Okay, on this one, I just found this little house from the Dollar Tree, and this one's going to be very simple. I did go ahead and make me a stencil. You can do this with stickers or hand draw it. We'll be using the white Waverly chalk paint. And I've just got a little stencil brush here, and then just stencil that. I'm just going to pull that stencil off. All right, simple. And then I've got just some of these little lips, like little wood lips on a clothespin. I got those from the Dollar Tree, and hopefully they come off of this clothespin. Okay, and we're just going to glue those down to however you see fit, however you think they look good. But look how simple, how cute that is. What do you guys think? Okay, so on this one, I'm going to make just a little miniature sign. I got this from the Dollar Tree. Got some of this ribbon, burlap trim from the Dollar Tree. I've picked up some of these heart ornaments from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to be using one of these little wooden keys that come in a package from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to need some jute twine, some burlap, and some Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster. And I'm going to be taking one of these hearts out of this package. I've also got these two little squares that resemble the Scrabble pieces. Mine were just a little bit larger than this, and I just trimmed them down. So use what you have or what you can create just to make some little tiles that resemble the Scrabble pieces. All right. So if you can find the ones that actually come off fairly easy from the backing, that would be even better. But this one has got little nails holding it in. So I am just going to get something to wedge in between here and just kind of play around with it to remove it. All right, so I just got a little mini screwdriver. Just kind of get it under there. All right, and then we just got to remove this little emblem from the glass. All right, and I'm just going to use some nail polish remover. Just going to pour it right on there. I'm just going to take some cotton balls with some more of that nail polish remover and just get in there and really scrub it out. And then I'm just going to spray some rubbing alcohol in there. And I'm just going to use some painter's tape and tape off the glass. And I am going to be taping both the front and the back sides because you will be able to see the back side through the glass. All right, now we can paint that. I'm just going to use some truffle from Waverly chalk paint. And I'm just going to do a dry brush, so we're going to pat most of that off. As your paint comes less and less on your brush, you can go a little harder. Just depends on how much distressing you want. When I first dip it in my brush, that's when I go light. So I can get a feel for how much is going to go on there. And if you ever get too much, you can always go back over it with the lighter color paint. And we're just going to let that dry. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove these staples from this backing. All right, and I'm going to be putting some of this burlap on it. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut a piece off that's as large as this backing. And I'm going to cut around any edges that are sewn together. And then we're just going to start pulling out threads. All right, that's going to need to be trimmed a little bit. All right, and just want it kind of like so. Since the back of this is pretty much the same color as the burlap, I'm not even going to paint it. Just going to leave it like that. Set that aside and work on the heart. And the heart, we're going to need to fill that hole. And I'm just going to use some lightweight spackle since I will be painting mine. If you're going to stain it, make sure you use a stainable spackle. I just like to use a scraper just to kind of make sure it's all in that hole there. All right, and we're going to leave that to dry. I'm going to take one of these little wood cutouts that's in the shape of a key, and I'm going to give that a paint. I'm going to use this a dazzling metallic from Decor in shimmering silver. And then make sure I paint the front and the back and get all into the ridges and along the sides. Then I'm going to take some of that truffle chalk paint. And then we're just going to distress that key a little bit, make it look a little old. Really focusing on the edges. It's looking distressed. We'll let that finish drying. All right, and I'm going to take this heart and use vintage Victorian chalk paint from Folk Art and just paint that. And you can paint yours whatever color you want. I do suggest that since this is on kind of on the darker side, that you use something light. Give it some contrast so it stands out. And make sure we get along these sides. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to do some distressing, but I don't want it to blend in too much with the burlap. All right, then we're just going to let that dry. Then I am just going to take a little of that truffle and very lightly go down the edges. I'm going to little over the top just until it looks the way that you want it. And we'll let that dry. And while that's drying, I am going to take a Sharpie and on our little tile pieces, I'm just going to write XO the best that I can. And if you wanted to write the little numbers that the Scrabble pieces have on it, you can, but I'm not gonna. And essentially, it's gonna lay out like this. So I want to get the burlap where I want it. Just make sure the hanger part's in the right spot if you plan on using the hanger. All right, before we hot glue that on, I am going to see how this burlap trim will look. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. I'm just going to trim that off. All right, I'm going to start by tacking on a little bit of hot glue here to keep this in place. I'm going to go ahead and tack this down also, the other piece of trim. Just lay that flat. All right, got that piece on there. I'm just going to make a little loop for us to string it through the other piece of string. We're just going to loop it. Just to give us enough of an opening right there. And we'll put the other piece through it. Don't like that up there. All right, we'll put that back in there and loop it with it already knotted. Unless we go back through here. Yes. And then pull on the unknotted side. That way we're not seeing that knot. All right, that is better. We're just going to hot glue this on the back side, snip it off. Now, I don't want it to slide down, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very small amount of glue and I'm just going to tack that right here. That way it won't move around. It'll hang in the same spot. Just going to get rid of some of these hairs. Now, make sure our burlap is just how we want it. And we're going to put some hot glue on the back of this heart. And right where we want it and push it down. That way the glue will also hold down this burlap to the backing. And just hold it there until it dries. All right, just like so. Then we're going to take our little XO pieces. I'm going to put just a little bit of hot glue around the edges, just in a few different spots. Set that in there. And looky there, isn't that gorgeous? Okay, for this one, I found this adorable little picture holder at the Dollar Tree. And I thought, oh, wow, that could be something really nice. Of course, it's cute the way it is. You just buy one and set it on the shelf, a picture in it, and voila, it's pretty. But we're just going to upgrade this into something just a little better. I've got a heart off of an old Dollar Tree sign that I saved. Going to need some little pearls, which I had also picked up at the Dollar Tree. And then this little wood cup. going to need one of those, which you can find at Hobby Lobby in a package. Need some hot glue. And then I am going to try something for the first time ever in some modeling clay. I picked this up from Hobby Lobby, but I've seen where people have talked about that they have found, smaller blocks of it at the Dollar Tree. I've yet to see any of that, but maybe you'll get lucky and you can find some there as well. And then we're just going to need a mold. And I've got these molds I got from Amazon. I will try to link this mold in the description box down below so you could find it if you're interested. I'm going to take one kind of in the center here, and that's going to be the one that I'm going to use. Like I said, this is the first time I have ever done anything with modeling clay, so I really hope it turns out. On heavy cardstock, I'm just going to trace out one heart. I'm just going to cut that out. And I just thought that size would be the perfect size to fit right in here. So I'm going to take these pearls and I am going to glue it on to the heart that we just cut out. But when I place them down, these beads that I have got the holes so you can, make necklaces out of them. And I'm just going to have them, those little holes, not facing up or down, just kind of facing off to the side. That way, when you're looking at the picture straight on, you're not looking at the holes in there. I'm going to glue all of these pearls to this heart. And I do have my heat gun setting on low. And I'm going to start by going around the outer edge. That way we can just fill in the center. You may want to put on a show in the background because this might take just a little bit of time. All right, I'm just going to set those aside. I'm going to go ahead and take this off there. I'm going to take this ribbon off. All right, and I just used a little flat tip little mini screwdriver here. I've also got some cornstarch I'm going to sprinkle down in there. I don't know if this is necessary, but I've seen people use this. But I guess better safe than sorry. And I'm going to have to do this 4 times. Okay, I'm going to flip this over and see if it comes out. while it's still wet so I can make more. All right, so I plan on putting these along the edges, like so. So I'm going to make some 45-degree angle cuts. That way they just kind of match up, as you see right there. All right, so before I glue that on, I am going to let this dry down a little, just get it hardened, just so when I pick it up, it doesn't bend around. Okay, this is dry. I do recommend that you adhere it before it completely dries, because this is completely dry and I'm afraid I'm going to break it, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm just going to use something to keep it level. Then I'm going to use this Star Bond medium instant adhesive glue. But if you also do it while it's still pliable, you can kind of push it into the piece that we're gluing it to, and it'll kind of mold to it better. All right, and we're going to let that dry. And I'm going to put some clamps around it just to give it a good seal. All right, there it is so far. Now we're going to go ahead and paint this up. I am still going to use this to hold it up so it'll hold it flat, make it a little easier to paint. And I'm going to take some truffle from Waverly. I think it's going to best match this brown color on the edges. Just going to paint that. I don't know. Maybe I should stop there. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll go ahead and use this little chippy brush so I can get down in there, and then I'll just go back over it. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go back over it with some distressing. All right, so I'm just going to take some of this plaster, and I'm just going to use the same brush. And you also want to make sure you go along the edges really well. It just kind of blends in there. Okay, now I do want to put this little cup up here. Probably should have done that before we painted. I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right in the center. All right, just like so. Then we do need to paint that also. So I'll start with the truffle once again and go over it with the plaster. All right, easy peasy. Let that dry real quick. All right, there we have it. Now to get those pearls on there, and what we're going to do is put these pearls right in the center here. We are just going to hot glue that. All right, when I flipped that over, some of these pearls fell out, so just kind of re-hot glue those back in. All right, I think I'm going to, you can always paint this stand that same color you painted the frame. I'll try the truffle first. All right, now we can take some more of that plaster, go over that. All right, it's still a little different two-tone color. Like I said, you can do it the same color as we did the top part, the frame. I just wanted a little contrast between the bottom, but not too much. So I think it looks pretty good. All right, so got some of this lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to make a little simple bow, a little shoestring bow. And you can put it really just about anywhere. Now I've got still this little piece of glue where that clip was. I think that's the best spot for it, just to cover that up. But I also think it would look really pretty on the corner. And I'm just going to cut this ribbon at an angle. All right, there we have it. What do you guys think? I think it's gorgeous.